What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 gaslighting techniques that narcissists use to make you question yourself. Now, that's not the whole title, but that's why narcissists use gaslighting techniques. Now, the first example of a gaslighting technique is, let's say you work with a narcissist and the boss asks them to relay a message to you about a meeting you have to attend later on in the day. So the narcissist failed to give you the message and their intentions. Now we're talking about intentions, because some people may not relay a message to you because they simply forgot. But narcissists deliberately do things. They do. That's just how they operate. So the narcissist didn't deliver the message to you. However, when you get in front of the boss and other co-workers, the person who they asked to give you the message sits there in silence and, doesn't say a word. Now that the boss is confronting you about not attending this meeting, that is when the person who was supposed to give you the message will claim that they gave you the message. And they'll say things like, they'll say things like, oh yeah, you forgot to come to the meeting yesterday. And you're like, no, you never told me. And they will just flat out lie and say, yeah, I did tell you, remember? And they're quick to say stuff like, remember? Knowing that they never told you to come to the meeting. They do this in front of other people to make you look bad. And it kind of gives them the power to present you in that way. They don't bring it up like, oh, I forgot to mention that we had a meeting yesterday. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. They won't do that because they're not going to take blame. The reason why they're not going to take blame is because it was their intention to begin with not to tell you. And then on top of that, they're not going to ask you, did it slip your mind? They're just going to let you take the blame for not coming to the meeting. So it's like they're not going to kind of help you out of the situation. They want to see you squirm. They want to see you get fussed at by the boss because they need to get a reaction out of it. They get their kicks out of seeing people in trouble. That's why as soon as you cut the narcissist off in the workplace, they become very powerful, especially in an open workplace, because now they get to work the floor and turn everybody against you. And they kind of set it up that way. You're blindsided by it because you never thought that day would come. You never thought that you would have to be dealing with something like that. But that's what narcissists do as one of the gaslighting techniques in the workplace. They will intentionally leave you out of the loop so that when you get confronted, then they could pretend like, oh, remember I told you, knowing that they never told you. They just do stupid stuff like that. They enjoy making you feel crazy intentionally, And another thing they do is they blame other people when you point out their wrongs in an argument or when you catch them in a lie. And an example of that is if you be like, well, no, like say, for example, you get into an argument with a narcissist and it's just you two. They always treat you different in private. Whereas in public, around other people, they play innocent to make you look, crazy. And when they do that, once you're alone again and you're like, get out of my face, you don't have nothing to say to me, because what you did back there was just, you really crossed the line. You really took it too far. So from now on, let's please just stay away from each other. Thanks. When you just be straight up with them and tell them you don't want to have nothing to do with them, like, get out of my face. It's like they say things like, no, but that wasn't even me. I was under the impression that so and so, they like to bring up things that cause them to act that way. I mean, bring up people that cause them to act that way. They quick to blame it on other people, so that now it takes the heat off them, and you'll start to look at other people crazy. People who are completely innocent, had nothing to do with it. But narcissists become so desperate to keep their supply, they will throw people under the bus. They don't care. That's just a chance that they are willing to take. They will take you down with them if they have to, with a flat out lie on somebody else. So another technique they do is just to like play on your intelligence, to take the focus off you calling them out. And that goes along with what I just mentioned. They'll blame other people for something that, they are straight up to blame for. And, when you confront them and tell them that, whatever it is that's on your mind, it's just like they're going to completely deny it. They're going to deny it. And they know they're guilty, but they're going to deny it until you exhaust yourself with talking about it. And you just be like, just wash your hands. I'm done with it. Okay, whatever you say. See, that's what they want you to do. They want you to just let it go, so that if they feel you let it go, then they have another chance to pretty much do it all over again to you. Whatever it is that, you're trying to point out certain things that they do, and they fail to realize it because they don't want to realize it. So they don't take accountability. So of course you wasting your time expecting that to happen. So they just continue to flat out deny it. Another thing they do is, strongly suggest that you choose whatever it is that they prefer. And they do that as a way to control you and to make you question your own judgment about things. About things that you've always loved and enjoyed. This happens when you go out to eat with the narcissist, shopping with them, just anything in general. A very controlling narcissist always wants to take the lead and convince you that it's always better to do it their way. That's another way of gaslighting. They would ask you, do you think that there's something wrong? Like, have you ever questioned that? Have you ever looked at it that way? And then you'll get to squinching and paying close attention to things, observing like you never had before, because you never really had to, until you start to think the way they want you to think, like if there is actually something wrong, when there is nothing wrong. But that's how narcissists like to gaslight people, with getting you to think and see things a certain way. They also do that with yourself. Like, they want you to think that maybe it's something wrong if you're thinking a certain way, because they need you to, they need you to change your thoughts in a way that it'll benefit them, and that kind of makes it seem like you just don't have a mind of your own at some point, and it's also a way of them controlling your thoughts by doing that. If they see that they can get away with it and they have that kind of power over you, then they're going to continue to do it. And they're going to make you think. It's going to make you feel like you don't have a mind of your own, like you're going to always have to come back to them to make your decisions on anything. And it just takes total control from you. And it just makes you start to question every single thing, everything about you, everything about your preferences. So those are 5 gaslighting techniques that narcissists use. That's the end of this video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.